So I think with that, we might as well move over to the title of this show, our Badass of the Month.
That's right.
We typically do Badass of the Week. We missed a couple weeks. We had done a few Badasses of the Week, obligatory, because I made up the rule that if you win NL or AL Player of the Week, you have to be our Badass of the Week if you're on the Tigers, Cubs, Sox, Giants, or A's. So we have a few of those actually on our list that we could compile. We have a couple pitchers, a couple batters. We got to talk about how we're doing this. I think last time when we did the Badass of the Month for April, we did a pitcher and a batter.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be one badass to rule them all each month. Like if the pitcher is better, we got to make a choice here. If we're gonna do this, do it right. So I think we can decide which of the two pitchers is the batter ass, and then what are the batters. Then we'll decide that, and then put the pitcher versus the batter and decide who is the ultimate badass for May.
All right. It's crazy that this list, we have teams that include the NL Pitcher of the Month, the AL Player of the Month, the NL Player of the Month, the AL Rookie of the Month. I mean,
I didn't see about the month. We had the Players of the Week a couple times, but
I'm sorry, AL Player of the Week, NL Player of the Week. Sorry, sorry.
And then Rookie of the Month.
Rookie of the Month, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy that
we have good teams.
Yeah, well,
for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that one of the bad teams is actually the AL Player of the Month.
Our whole we have a good representation here. So.
He could be AL fucking Player of the Month with the way he turned it around. But let's get to this list.
You can make your argument.
I guess we'll start. Well, let's just get the pitchers out of the way. But not to say get them out of the way.
Come on.
Both of these.
What are we doing here?
Both of these gentlemen. I mean, God.
You had a loss for words for Skubal and Robbie Ray?
Yeah, these stats are gaudy. And both in different ways. But I think, like, Skubal's, obviously, 2.20 ERA. His whip is a 0.59. That complete game shutout we already discussed, that somehow he struck out. This is like you said, I'm going to reiterate what Smitty said earlier. The unheard of part is 13 batters were struck out and less than 100 pitches were used.
In a complete game shutout, yeah.
It never happens.
It's impossible.
Anytime like a Blake Snell, let's say Blake Snell is struck out like a double-digit guy, he's out in this fucking sixth inning because he's at 100 pitches.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
The best part about that too is it came against the Guardians, who were about to sweep the Tigers, which would have been fucking devastating, losing a 4-game series in a sweep. He was the stopper in that Sunday, and it was so timely. And it whatever the math works out, the Guardians gained two games on him, but for the month they lost 2 games to the Tigers. So just that one win meant so much at that point, because that's the first time really since the Dodgers series that you kind of felt like what the fuck's going on here? Like, do we have a Cleveland problem? Like, this, of all the teams I have a problem with, I could deal with it with the Dodgers because the next time we'll face them would be potentially only in the World Series. We're facing the Guardians a lot. If we can't take care of them, that's a problem going forward. And Skubal answered that emphatically. So not only the performance, but the timing of that performance is almost worth Badass of the Month just for that one game. But for the whole month, his numbers are just ridiculous.
Yeah, to 59 Ks, 2 walks, 41 innings pitched.
Oh,
not too shabby.
Hold on. 2 walks.
Yeah, 2 walks in a month.
2 walks.
That's
fucking nuts.
Yeah, because you're going to see the exact contrast of that. Robbie Ray may have an ERA that's almost a run lower than Skubal at 1.34.
Robbie Ray won NL Pitcher of the Month for May. So
yes,
that's a remarkable achievement. But yeah, the walks are the big difference right there.
Yeah, his whip is 8.72. That's obviously higher because
it's great, but it's not 0.59.
Yeah, because he walked 11 batters.
Yeah, which is
striking out 45, which is pretty fucking good.
Those are still great numbers, but my God, when you put him next to Skubal's, except for the ERA, wow.
Yeah, 39 innings pitched, so a couple less innings than Skubal, but like the walk, that's even crazier. Skubal pitched only 2 more innings than Robbie Ray. He struck out 14 more batters, which is basically that one game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And walk 9 less batters with 2 extra innings. Crazy.
So I think
I mean, you're not going to get an argument out of me, even though I'm a fucking Giants fan. I mean,
well, you're also a fan of Skubal because you picked him up on your fantasy team. So
well, for 2 straight years.
Yeah. Well,
it's not helping this year.
2 good years to pick him up. But yeah, unfortunately, the rest of your team sucks for whatever reason.
Be available for trade for some offensive help.
I might have some offensive help for you.
Well,
that's interesting.
I'll be waiting in the shadows for that trade.
Oh, okay. So the fantasy trade market is now open officially.
I have 23 fucking points.
That's some breaking news.
Do something.
That's some breaking news right here.
And I've got some really great starting pitching assets.
There's definitely one that I'm interested in. So yeah, take a look at my roster. I might be able to move some pieces around for that.
All right.
No one else cares. That was our fantasy minute.
Yeah, we inserted perfectly here as
fantasy minute inside Badass of the Month.
So yeah, Skubal, you won't get any argument out of it.
Okay, so we've determined that Skubal is our Badass pitcher of the month. We'll put him up against the Badass batter of the month.
Yeah, I mean,
this is quite a list. Quite an amazing list.
Yes. So we'll start off. Well, let's start at. I'll start at the. I'm going to work my way up on this.
Yeah, one. I don't remember what order I put him in, but
so we'll go with Jacob Wilson, who was the AL Rookie of the Month.
Yeah, he's part of my fantasy team actually that I picked up just because he was an A. He was I believe a former lug nut. He just hits. He does not. He doesn't strike out. He doesn't walk. He just hits.
Yeah, 4 homers, 15 runs, 16 RBIs, 975 OPS. Not too shabby for a rookie.
That's what's interesting. The counting stats are kind of low, but his OPS blows everybody else out of the water on this list at least. So he's the only one in the 900s, I think. So
he is the only one in the 900s. Riley Green. I've watched this guy in game 1 against the White Sox almost make 2 spectacular catches, but
he made
one missed catch saved it from leaving the ballpark.
That was like it was like almost like a NBA center, like goaltending, like knocking it back into the park. Then he had that crazy catch in the corners, like sliding through the dirt. Yeah, they couldn't see it. At least the broadcast I was watching, the Detroit feed, it was kind of obscure. They didn't know if he caught it right away because it was like so deep in that corner. They couldn't see it from the booth. And like, oh my God, he caught it.
Yeah, it was I couldn't tell either at first. It was only on the replay.
Okay.
I wonder if they were using the same feed or not.
I bet you they do. They probably help each other out for like the smaller networks, unless it's a national game.
But he had 7 home runs, 15 runs, 24 ribby, 894 OPS. So knocking on the 900 and 1 stolen base.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there. It wasn't too impressive, but I was throwing in other people's stolen bases.
NL Player of the Week earlier this month. Oh no, last month.
In May,
June now. Yeah, we're in June now. Pete, calendar turned. Suzuki, 7 homers, 16 runs, 27 RBI, 879 OPS. Not too shabby.
We have not talked about Seiya Suzuki. I don't think I brought him up once this season.
And he is having fucking the season you thought he was going to have.
He's tied for the major league lead in RBI.
Yeah.
He's tied with Rafael Devers. Like the quietest MVP caliber season you've ever heard of. Like you hear about Kyle Tucker, obviously PCA, who's we're going to speak of in a minute here. You never talk about, at least I don't talk about Seiya Suzuki. So that is a failure on my part that he's gotten this deep into the season. We're 2 months into the season. We're just now bringing up Suzuki, and fucking A, he's a great candidate for Badass of the Month.
Yeah. No, he could end up being, I mean, shit, he could be a Badass of the Year. Who knows?
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we will. Speaking of great goofy seasons, Miguel Vargas, April 23rd, had a OPS of probably 530. Let's look at his numbers over the past month. Miguel Vargas, 7 home runs, 15 runs, 17 RBI, 899 OPS, and AL Player of the Week.
Yeah.
On a fucking team with 19 wins, which I might say are 4 more wins than they had at this point last year. So we got that going for us.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely had to have him on the list. He won AL Player of the Week, so you're automatically on the Badass of the Month list. So
and then
the RBI and run totals aren't quite up to others, but his OPS is right there. With our others on the list. This is a tough fucking list, though.
But if you're looking for disgusting run and RBI totals, we look no further than Pete Crow-Armstrong.
Some refer to him as MVP. Or
that's what they call me too.
You could be MVP. You're certainly MVP of this podcast, but
you're gonna make me cry over here.
Well, there's only one Pete of this podcast. So you were the MVP. There's also MVPCA. I've seen T-shirts for that.
Do you realize MVP is just my actual initials? Because I am
Michael Vanieri.
Peter Michael
oh my
Vanieri.
God, that's how you need to introduce yourself on every podcast from now on. I'm MVP.
All right, that's it. I am. It's done. Consider it done.
That's tremendous. Yeah, let's not forget this. Mark the tape there.
Oh, I never forget anything. Oh wait, no, I forgot. We have a segment at the end
MVP
of the
forgot.
That's right. But PCA, 9 homers, 20 runs, 29 RBI, 888 OPS because of the amount of strikeouts he had.
Yeah.
5 stolen bases, which
I was
seems down for him, but
yeah, it's a big drop off from April, but it's because he was hitting so many fucking doubles and home runs. He didn't have a chance to steal.
Yeah.
MVP. Boy, it's surprising that his OPS numbers aren't better. But yeah, it's the strikeouts, I guess. But everything else makes him my badass of the month. But was there anyone else on? That was the end of the list, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the end of the list. I mean, I just don't see anyone else who, like, Suzuki's close in RBI, but not in. Suzuki's kind of close, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a really the 9, almost 10 homers. In the runs and the runs are really a lot of it has to do with because he can go first to home on a fucking routine ball.
Last night he had a double and then stole third base, and then there was a ground ball to third base. Did you see this?
No.
Ground ball to third base, and he's like faking going home, and it totally brain freezes the third baseman, and third baseman has an easy throw to first to get the ground. To get the guy out, but PCA just puts this mind fuck on him, keeps faking that he's going to go home, and he just dives back to third base in time for the guy to run to first base. And I don't think it's technically a fielder's choice because there's no out recorded, so it's like an infield single.
Yeah,
it's a terrible decision by the third baseman because he couldn't understand what to do with PCA. The irony, and they were just talking about this on Spiegel and Holmes before we went on the air this afternoon. They were talking about the similarities between PCA and Javi Baez, like how he could just turn fielders' minds into mush, like the famous play in Pittsburgh where he had a ground ball to first and tricked the first baseman into not just taking the force out and stepping on first, ran back home. Allowing a run to score, then an error from a throw to first to get Javi out, where he was able to advance to second. That's where El Mago gets his name. So the irony of PCA having a similar type persona that just turns fielders' minds into mush, and they were traded for each other.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part. So it's amazing. I saw that last night. I'm like, this is the white El Mago, I guess. Like, I don't know what PC or oh shit, what's the redhead? Ginger El Mago. That's PCA. Maybe that's his, instead of MVP or MVPCA, it's Ginger El Mago. So I've got to give PCA at least for our badass of the month. Are you on board with that?
I'm on board with that too.
So where do we go? Mano a mano. We have to make it. I just decided we need to make a fucking choice. Stand up, be men, make a choice. Don't cut the baby in half.
Okay, Sheffrin.
we need to decide. Is it Skubal or PCA to be our badass of the month for May?
Two choices for me that I really am excited about.
Yeah, this is not good for you, but it's difficult for me.
I'm looking over the numbers one last time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Skubal. Not just because he's on my fantasy team, but because there were guys, we had a lot of offensive players to choose from, but only 2 pitchers. Yep. And I think the rarity of that, and, people were near PCA's numbers, but Robbie Ray really isn't, outside of the ERA thing, the numbers are landslided for Skubal.
That's what's amazing. Yeah, I think that's a good point because PCA is superior. I think it was fairly easy to decide that, but not by a landslide. The way Skubal was over the NL pitcher of the month.
Yes,
Robbie Ray was to see that disparity is remarkable and worthy of badass of the month. I didn't want to give you this power before you made your choice, but I was going to go with whichever one you were going to decide.
Miguel Vargas is the badass of the month.
We may have had a debate at that point. But, yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to go with Skubal. I'm glad you're now a Tigers fan, huge Skubal fan. Your jersey's coming in the mail.
Oh, sweet.
The Old English D you'll probably wear, I'm sure. So
yeah, get that over to me. Maybe I'll show up tomorrow afternoon if you can get it to me in time.
All right. Are you going to a Sox game this week?
No.
Okay. And you tricked me right there. But
no.
All right. Well, okay. Congratulations, Tarik Skubal. You are a badass of the month for the month of May.
Word Hole Media.